enables the gravitational consequence, thus the force responsibility of our musculoskeletal system to maintain the greatest fluidity. That is itself the most efficient approach to maintaining all around strength throughout our entire lives. When we're young, this is preparation for intense exertion, but it's still precise. There is a way to precisely train such that you are increasing your capacity for respiring as much air, for strengthening your muscles from their point of maximal flexion to maximal, let's say, stretching. You're flexing and then you're stretching. So that's the flexion and the stretching. That makes sense, doesn't it? And that's why doing open-handed, non-barbell exercises is so integral. Because if you don't recognize that you can move initially with your elbow, then your wrist, then the ridge, then the first knuckles, and you can be doing that along very long tracks, and you can speed them up so that you don't look as if you're in discord with the modern world. You don't look out of place because you're doing the same things that other people do, but you're doing them in an even more refined way because they've been trained in accord with these points of contact and these points of alignment. Now, does that amplify the efficacy? Does that amplify the persuasive power that you possess? Maybe so. If you're speaking in a more captivating way, if you're speaking more cogently because your body's aligned and because you're more efficiently commanding the respiration of air to coincide with the positions of the body, with the positions of the lips and the throat, and all of the moderating factors, the moderating components that alter the tone and the frequencies and the continuum of frequencies that we can utter by interfacing with this invisible force, the chi, the prana, the Holy Ghost that's around us. The Great Spirit that is enabling, and in fact, it's there all the time. It's always there. Depressed, or you feel weak, go do some breath work. Go out there and interface with God. Interface with everything else. You're interfacing with what you can see. You're interfacing with what you can hear. You're interfacing with what you can feel. That's why, hey, climb some trees. Exercise with some trees. Do some vertical push-ups. Get a feel, for what it feels like to roll on something that's alive, something that has fluid going through it. I don't see that fluid. Oh, unless you pound a pipe into it and you hang a bucket and it'll give you maple syrup. Oh, wow. Wow, that's coming from the natural world. Oh, what a place. What a place. There was a time when we didn't know that. We had to go explore these places. We had to go find these new things. But now there's nowhere else to explore. There's no other potential. We can explore space, and we can also explore the inner self. We can explore the unknowns about what trees to plant. What's the best relationship of pecans and peaches and sunlight, and what works best in the under canopy? What works best in the soil? Is it sweet potatoes? What types of compost and leaf matter layerings work best? What are these? No one knows. No one knows. The climate's changing so quickly that we need experimenters, we need adapters, we need people to be uncovering how to use their microclimates in conjunction with trellises, with vines, and with all types of ways to capture carbon to provide food and flowers and the flora for pollinators and for our own aesthetics, our aesthetic enjoyment of the beautifying powers that we all possess. There's interior designers and there's exterior designers. And uThrones permaculture is an exterior designer as well. Front, side, back, front, side, back, front, side, back, front, side, back, front, side, back. Straight on. In. Front, side, back, front, side, back, front, side, back, front. Back, side, front. You'll feel it once you understand where your shoulders need to be and how far your shoulders can rise, while also this is where your glutes are really, really critical, because if you can't center your feet underneath you, imagine there's a ballet pole, that someone would stretch on, or imagine there's like a dancer pole that's vertical, and imagine that there's something like that within you, that is around you, that there is this column of energy, that a column of gravitational opposition that you can structure your body into, and it goes like it's as if the base point can be mobile. It's really, where is the majority of responsibility? Side to side, front to back. There's some toe, there's some sector of the feet, or maybe it's the area in which that's between the feet. That is maintaining a perception of balance, a perception of the appropriate parameters, the appropriate dimensional relationships that make you most calm. And in order to find that, what you have to do is you have to start from contact and then slowly transition to being 1 inch off the ground, 2 inches. Flex everything up and then hold it don't even hold it, but you reach that point and go, okay, that's as far as I can go. And then you bring it right back along that path. See my heels coming up as my hands opening. a limitation to how far back I can move my arm. Everyone has that. Every joint has some range of motion that limits the distance that it can go back. Now, like, imagine again that you're living within this grid. We're almost grids within grids, like our bodies. That's an operation of molecules and atoms and matter that have been arranged and have this unique structure in each one of its constituent components that is the same. It is the design, the blueprint. What is a stem cell? Hold on, so a stem cell can become any cell? It can become a cheek cell, it can become a liver cell, it can become a blood cell. What? See, that's just a little bit of what the scientific revolution, what the technological revolution has done. See, the greater you train yourself to move in slow motion, the greater you are becoming aware of the way in which the oppositional movements can be subtly synchronized with the downward movements. Because you don't have to come up very far in order to activate that part of your musculature. And this is something that I will forever be thankful to Tai Chi and the martial arts and the meditative breath work community for. It's about human performance, and you unless you are mortally required to perfect how you survive within a given environment, under given conditions, you'll never realize that there are two very vulnerable positions on your body. This, the middle of this, and the middle of this. This is why it's so natural for our bodies to have knees that turn in. That's why a lot of these movements in Tai Chi, they're recognizing the limitations of the body, because I can only throw a punch so far. I can only strike at a such and such a distance. Everyone has that limitation. Now I can lunge if I'm really trying to beat the distance and have some type of force that is transferred back to my body that can facilitate a further engagement with gravity, with the environment, with the bag, with the iPad. Even if it's something as subtle as the force required to type your name.